Hello Taurus, hello and welcome into your general tarot card reading for March of 2018. Taurus, this is a general reading, so take out of it what you will. And you have a very interesting card over here. You have a King of Swords, you have a Six of Cups, you have the Moon, you have the Judgment, and then you have the Chariot, Knight of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, and Knight of Wands. The Seven of Swords over here is the card that is implying, or at least suggesting what to focus on, and the stone is a rune, and its additional commentary. It's called Kenna or Keno, depending which pronunciation you choose to take, and he's talking about the fire, the torch, the opening. It's extremely positive rune. So with the King of Swords. King of Swords might be representing, for one, some kind of completion. King of Swords might be representing some kind of energy that is an obstacle. And the obstacle that is very difficult to walk around. So the King of Swords might be representing a actual person, someone who is very knowledgeable, someone who is, I would say, with the King of Swords. King of Swords, they're representing people who it's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. And there are not two ways about that. You either this or that. And the King of Swords, for one, he might be very wise, he might be very knowledgeable, he might be representing someone who is, let's say, enforcer. So we can say that it's everything to do with the law, legal issues, military, confidence, power, authority, strength, leadership. Also, the King of Swords, quite often for me, they're representing people who are introverted. So they have this kind of, the way how they perceive reality or how they interact with others and everything around them, it's through their introverted function. So what does it mean? So they're going to inform their opinions based on what is already within them. So that might be very much talking about somebody's inner wisdom, somebody's integrity, their principles. They might be very wise, they might represent a wise counsel, they might be extremely logical to the degree they're not going to allow any emotions come to the play. That might be representing someone with the very clear thinking, but also is the dual personality, so someone who can just flip on a dime. So with this King of Swords, Taurus, I feel like there might be some kind of opposition. You might be battling someone, and this someone is just difficult for the sake of difficult, because they know what they want, they know what they know, and they are unwilling to budge over here. And because you have the Chariot underneath it, let me jump to it, because it's intuitive reading. What I'm getting, this is all about you moving forward. It's about leaving certain things behind. So that might be employment, that might be your friend, that might be a relationship. Whatever it might be, the Chariot is saying you can do without it. You can be you. You can stand for what you believe in. You have a very good idea what you want. And it's something about you being independent, something about you overcoming the conflict, because the Chariot quite often speaks about two things. Speaks about the realization of the inner and outer conflict, so the conflicts that we are conflicted internally, but also speaks of the conflict that we might have with others. And Seven, in this particular case, is resonating with wisdom, is representing with taking the control of a situation, of our emotions and ourselves. And if you're going to look at those two sphinxes, they're not really moving, even though the perception is of the Chariot is the movement. Movement is coming from the focused will. So this is this representing the power of our will, Taurus. And then you have those two cards. You have a Six of Cups and you have a Knight of Cups. And both of them, they're representing this kind of, with the Moon, for me, they're representing this need to go in, this need to go into the place how things used to be, how It's almost go to the past, and you can go to the past as far as your childhood, or you might go into the past as far as to remind you about the good things. And that there is a question how you're going to do it. But let me dive into the Six of Cups. Six of Cups indeed might be representing the childhood. Six of Cups is actually representing give and take, and it's representing this idea of, are we worthy of what we're receiving? And sometimes we might have this kind of perception, Taurus, of we're actually not. And this is to kind of address this. This is all about seeing yourself for who you are. Because those memories or perceptions of ourselves, they are that might be that are distorting by our own insecurity stories or by the other people around you. And this is the moon is kind of talking about it. And also with the Six of Cups, there's this kind of additional layer that is coming. For some of you, it's Six of Cups when it comes to giving and receiving, might be talking about the new employment, might be talking about positive outcomes. But I think in this particular case, the way how it sits with the King of Swords, the Moon, and the Chariot speaks of you not being sure of yourself. You might be having the doubts. There might be issue with your self-confidence. There might be issue with you not feeling worthy or deserving of certain things in life, and that might be to do with the finance, the job and relationship. And the moon, it's a very interesting card. The moon has such a multitude of meanings. But what I would say, the moon in general is representing this emotions, intuitions, dreams, daydreaming, fantasy, but also might be representing the change of our emotional behavior, might be representing the turmoil, might be representing the confusion, deception, and illusions. And because of that, I would say there might be something to do with how you self-identify yourself, how you see yourself, how you portray yourself. And what I would say, Taurus, I feel like there are people around you, there are people who are surrounding you. They might be not helping, they might be not giving you a wise counsel, they might be confusing matters even more. They might be giving you advice that is not sound. When I mean not sound, I mean that they are fueling suspicions. They might be fueling your own insecurities. They might be just simply creating even more turmoil, basically. And another thing is, because the moon is representing sometimes the dark hour of our soul, it's also representing this idea there are two towers there. So there's some kind of pathway, and the path is not clear. So we don't know where we're going. That might be to do with the purpose. There might be insecurity as to what the future is going to bring. And because there are mountains in the background, mountains that are representing sometimes the obstacles, the things that has to be done, and you don't see the end of the road over here, Taurus. So that might be the issue. So there might be indication of lack of purpose, lack of focus, but also the indication here that you might choose to, okay, I'm going to do this way, or I'm going to change attitude, I'm going to do this that way. So it's almost there's this kind of vagueness. There might be the constant shifting happening, but also moon is representing the illusion, the reflection, because moon is reflecting the light of the sun. And moreover, with the moon, we just see the one face of the moon. We don't see entirety of the moon. So this is also talking about this kind of perception that we have, not the full understanding of the situation. Something is hidden. Something is not yet realized, not yet being brought to light. So that might be the meaning of the moon. But what I would say very strongly with the moon, and what I'm getting for you, Taurus, it's all about the security. And you might have that feeling that you are on a quicksand, you don't know what's going to happen. However, you have this Judgment and you have the Chariot. And both of them, they're talking about change of consciousness. So the Judgment, it's going to force you to, basically Judgment might means literally judgment. That might means that you're going to be called upon. So whatever has happened, whatever deeds you have done, whatever took place, you might be judged upon. Also, the Judgment quite often is linked with the karma fulfilled, is talking about regeneration, is talking about the new plans, new purposes, new ambitions, progression, healing quite often, and the good news. So when it comes to the Judgment over here, quite often it denotes this kind of awakening. So whatever is happening with the moon, you're going to awake from it, from that initial confusion. You're going to awake from it, and whatever purpose you were not seeing, all of a sudden something going to happen. The door to the higher consciousness are going to open, and it's going to encourage you to find a new purpose, new goal, reorient yourself. And this transformation going to kind of lead you to some kind of rebirth, this kind of new understanding, seeing yourself in a new light, because you have the Chariot over here, and the Chariot background is yellow. So this is denoting this new way of consciousness, is denoting this new you. And also because you have Angel Gabriel, and he's representing the water over here, the aspect of the water. Your emotions going to be far much more connected with your thinking. It's almost everything going to come together. And because he's holding this golden horn, and you can see this blast being depicted. It's about creating this liberation, and it's liberating us from the limitations as well as illusions. So that's what is coming from the Judgment. Therefore, you have this Chariot over here. You have this. You are finally able to be in control of yourself, of situation, come to the terms, whatever conflict there might be, either this internal or external, you coming to the terms with it. And then we have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, and both they're representing messages. They're both speaking of new things coming into our lives. Knights, they are usually representing this movement. They are quite often representing invitation, arrival, approach, proposition, sometimes romance, sometimes fresh ideas. But also with the Knight of Cups, we are talking about some kind of sentiment. And moreover, what I would say, because you have two of those knights appearing together, that is all about the mixed messages, signals that might cause you to doubt the true intentions of somebody. So that might be representing one person. I'm feeling that's going to be information coming from different sources, because you have a Seven of Swords, and Seven of Swords it's talking about the deception. And I think it's something about deception, because even though you have a Nine of Pentacles and it's showing you, Nine of Pentacles speaks about the success, sometimes about the solitude, because there is a vibration of number 9, you see with this Knight of Cups and Knight of Wands, somebody is coming offering something towards you, and then Knight of Wands is saying, yes, but I also would like to do so and so. So the Knight of Wands might be talking about, yes, I'm going to move, yes, I'm going to change the residence, I'm going to take on this, or I'm going to do something utterly different. So there might be conflicting information coming your way. The overall message here is what to focus is focused on the intentions of those people who are talking to you, intentions of people who are relaying those informations to you. Because the Canary is representing the light, the torch is talking about lack of clarity within the situation, and the Moon is also talking about the lack of clarity within the situation. So whatever is happening over here, you have to kind of rely on your own judgment. Even though the Nine of Pentacles is indicating this great abundance, the growth, self-reliance, the confidence, the plenty, material well-being and balance. And this might be all about your financial success. So financially, you might be very, you might be, I'm not saying that you're going to be enormously well off, but what I'm saying, you're going to have enough money to cover all your bases, but also is to realize that the only person you can rely on is yourself. And if those Knights of Cups, they're representing either your friends, if that is representing people in your working environment, they're representing somebody that you're in relationship with, the indication over here is, Taurus, to rely upon yourself, to trust in your own judgment, to be realistic, to almost decipher, almost like you have to be like a detective over here. So if something is not tallies, you have to kind of say, this doesn't really makes much sense. Why is it? And kind of come and address it. Basically, what I'm hearing, it's something about addressing the situation. But also, the Nine of Pentacles is quite often indication of the completion of events, and there is a focus on positive results. So this, with the Chariot and Nine of Pentacles, the message is here: rely on yourself, rely on your own judgment, rely on your. It's almost what I'm hearing, Taurus, is to rely on your whatever decisions you're going to be making. You have to focus on yourself first. That's what is coming. So with those Seven of Swords over here, Seven of Swords, that they are representing sometimes the setback, delays, postponements, obstacles, attempts, quarreling with people, or plan leading to failure. But quite often I would say that is talking about escaping from situation as well. So whatever situation might be here, the indication is, if you're going to look at this person is moving forward and looking back. So you cannot move forward whilst you are in the past. That is the overall indication over here. And if you are trying to take things that were good in the past, you might be fooling yourself to a certain degree. And that's where what is coming. And when it comes to this rune is talking about new clarity. So once again, this is a clarity within the situation. It's talking about the need of expulsion of the darkness that might have covered the parts of your life. So this is all about things coming to the full front, things that are coming to the light. And also what I would suggest, that this one is saying that it's better for you to see things for what they are, then hoping the situation is better than it is. So Taurus, that is the overall reading and messages for you for stay tuned and bye for now. If this reading has resonated with you, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to book a private reading with me, please feel free to go to the website www.tarotwithmishka.co.uk, or alternatively you can email me at mishka@tarotwithmishka.co.uk. If you'd like to find me on Facebook, just simply type in Tarot with Mishka. I would like to say a massive thank you for tuning in and bye for now.